Bats, the silent heroes of the night. Assalamu alaikum, friends. When a bat suddenly flies over our heads in the darkness of night, many people become frightened. Some people think bats are dangerous, some connect them with bad luck, and some even believe that bats drink human blood. But is that really true? The reality is completely different. Bats are amazing creatures of nature that quietly perform important tasks at night. They help farmers, forests, plants, and the entire ecosystem in many different ways. Today, we are going to discover some amazing secrets about bats that may completely change the way you look at them. Secret number 1. Why do bats hang upside down? The first question is, why do bats usually hang upside down from caves, trees, and other places? One major reason is their unique body and flying ability. Bats can use their feet to grip branches, rocks, and cave ceilings very tightly. This allows them to rest while hanging upside down. When they need to fly, they can release their grip and use gravity to help them begin their flight. And here is something amazing. Bats are the only mammals capable of true, sustained flight. They are not birds. They are mammals. They give birth to babies, feed them milk, and yet they can fly through the sky like birds. Nature has truly given bats a remarkable body. Secret number 2. How do bats find their way in complete darkness? Now we come to one of the most incredible abilities of bats. How can a bat fly so quickly at night when it is almost completely dark? How does it avoid trees and walls? And how can it find tiny insects while flying? The answer is echolocation. Many species of bats produce very high-frequency sounds using their mouths or noses. These sounds travel through the air and bounce back when they hit an object. The bat detects these returning sounds and uses them to understand what is around it. It can determine whether there is a tree, a wall, the ground, or even a small insect nearby. You can think of echolocation as a natural sonar system. This system can be incredibly sensitive. Some bats can use it to locate and catch tiny insects while flying. Imagine this. In the same darkness where a human being may struggle to see a few steps ahead, a bat can use sound to navigate and search for food. Secret number 3. How are bats helpful to humans? Now let's talk about something very important. Bats are not just strange-looking animals. In many places, they are actually beneficial to humans. Many bats eat insects. At night, when insects are active around crops and plants, bats can feed on many of these insects. In this way, they can naturally help control insect populations. That is why bats are sometimes considered silent partners of farmers. However, there is an important point to remember. Not every bat eats mosquitoes, and it would not be correct to say that every bat eats 1,000 mosquitoes every night. Different species of bats have different diets. Some eat insects, some eat fruit, some feed on nectar from flowers, and others have different food sources. Secret number 4. How does a mother bat take care of her baby? The relationship between a mother bat and her baby is also fascinating. Most bats do not give birth to large numbers of babies at once. Usually, a female bat gives birth to one baby, although the number can vary between species. A newborn baby bat depends heavily on its mother. The mother feeds it milk, protects it, and takes care of it until the baby becomes strong enough to survive on its own. Now think about this. In the darkness of a cave, where hundreds of bats may be hanging together, a mother can still recognize and care for her own baby. Bats can use different sounds, smells, and other signals to maintain contact with their young. This shows us that the bond between a mother and her baby is important throughout the animal world. Secret number 5. Do all bats drink blood? This is one of the most famous myths about bats. Movies and stories often show bats as terrifying blood-drinking creatures. But the reality is very different. There are more than 1,400 known species of bats in the world, and only a very small number of them depend on blood for food. Most bats do not drink blood. Many species eat fruit. Many eat insects. Some feed on flower nectar and other natural food sources. So if you see a bat flying near your home, it does not mean that it has come to drink your blood. Most likely, it is simply looking for food or moving from one place to another. Secret number 6. Are bats really blind? Another common myth is that bats are blind. But this is not completely true. Bats have eyes, and many species can see. However, for some bats, especially at night, echolocation is an extremely important way of understanding their surroundings. So bats do not simply depend on their eyes. They can also use sound to gather information about the world around them. It is another incredible example of how nature has created different ways for animals to survive. Secret number 7. Why are bats important for forests? Now we come to a benefit that many people know very little about. Some bats eat fruit. After eating fruit, they may travel to another location, and seeds can be carried or passed through their digestive system and eventually deposited in new places. If those seeds land in suitable conditions, new plants can grow. In this way, bats can help with the natural regeneration of forests in some regions. Some bats also feed on flower nectar. As they move from one flower to another, pollen can be transferred by their bodies. This process is called pollination. So certain bats can also play an important role in helping plants reproduce and produce fruit. Secret number 8. Where do bats live? Bats do not live only in caves. They can also live inside hollow trees, old buildings, rocky areas, bridges, and other safe places. Some species live together in huge colonies, where thousands or even more bats may gather in the same location. When hundreds or thousands of bats are hanging upside down inside a cave, the scene can look incredible. But for them, that cave is simply a safe home. During the day, they rest. At night, they leave their shelter to search for food. Secret number 9. What happens to bats during winter? Some species of bats become much less active during cold weather. Certain species can enter a state called hibernation or a prolonged period of rest. During this time, their body temperature and energy use can decrease significantly. This helps them survive periods when food is difficult to find. Nature has given every animal different ways to survive in its environment. Bats are another fascinating example of this natural adaptation. The most important lesson, friends, when we see a bat, we should not automatically think of it as a dangerous creature. Instead, we should understand that every animal has its own role in nature. Some animals control insect populations. Some spread seeds. Some help pollinate flowers. And others play important roles in the food chain. Bats are also an important part of this natural system. We do not need to touch or keep wild bats as pets, but we should understand their role and avoid harming them without reason. And if a bat suddenly flies over you at night, don't immediately think that a terrifying creature has arrived. It may simply be searching for food. And that is the beauty of nature. Sometimes the animal we are afraid of is actually helping maintain the natural balance around us. Conclusion. So, friends, today we learned that bats are not simply scary-looking animals. They are fascinating creatures of nature. They can hang upside down, navigate through darkness using sound, eat insects, spread seeds, and help pollinate certain plants. If you learned something new about bats today, make sure to like this video. Subscribe to HAZ and tell us in the comments. Which amazing animal should we cover in our next video? Allah Hafiz.